What's up, guys? Got something kind of special for you tonight. I've been working on this idea for a little while now, and I finally got it finished up, so we're going to try it out and see how it goes. I would have just left this out of the picture, but I didn't want to bore you too much. Basically, I got a new rack design. I talked to some people about it already. They kind of know about it. I went over some ideas, a couple different prototypes and whatnot. I finally got one built. I'm going to try out. So we're going to throw these shells up in it. These are the Platte River claws out. I believe, yeah, these are just the 4-inch shells. See the red foil on those? Those look familiar. You probably know what they are. Somewhat, I think they're kind of like the Pyro Predators. Anything with that red foil wrap is pretty decent from what I've seen. So these are Platte River's own, out of Platte River, Wisconsin. I had them made for them, and we're going to throw up half the box in this 12-shot rack. The thing about this rack that's kind of special is I'm going to dedicate it to a YouTube pyro who is no longer with us, Pyro Bear 420. I'm not really sure all the circumstances. I don't really need to know, I guess. Basically, what gave me this idea was just scrolling through comments and reading stuff. It wasn't even a year ago that this guy was around. He's a really good YouTuber. He's got some good content. Die-hard pyro. Really good guy, seemed like. So, you know, him not being around, it's just kind of a shitty deal. It's just really too bad. And I don't want him to be forgotten or anybody to, you know, think that he's not going to be remembered. So, Pyro Bear 420 made this rack up, and we're going to dedicate it to you. It's actually a Z rack, and this is what it looks like. We're going to run one fuse down, and it's going to go back and forth. You can see like that. And what I did was I got some 2.5-inch inside diameter exhaust tube, cut it into 1-inch rings, and MIG welded them all together. And then we use 3/4-inch plywood here, some pine here, cut pine at 15 degrees right here, put the angle tubes flush with those. We run these one straight to the base, which is also 3/4-inch plywood. Got some handles on the end here, bolted some metal tabs, you know, a plate there on the ends. 12-tube rack, and we're going to send this one up for Pyro Bear 420. Never got to meet the guy, but he seemed like a cool dude. All the comments I've read, you know, had nothing but advice and, you know, good things. The last one I read was 10 months ago, talking about he lost his old firecracker vintage stash and stuff, and he wanted to start rebuilding it. And, you know, unfortunately he never got to do that. And every time we send these up in this rack, we're going to dedicate them to him. So there you go, Pyro. This one's for you, bro. We're going to fuse up these claws out in here. We'll come back. I'll show you how I did that. And we're going to... Here's our detonator box, I call it. Keep my Cobra in here. Zip ties. These are the cutters you want. If you guys are cutting fuse, you're going to want something like this, non-sparking razor blade that's actually going to cut that fuse nice and flush and clean. You don't want to break up that black powder core in the inside. So then we're going to hook it up to this here. Single shot cue on the end there. And that way I ain't got a hand fired. I can get back and enjoy the show and watch it with you guys. This is our little box. I got my Cobra in. It's actually kind of small. A couple little firing system back up there. Got the Cobra there. Module in there. Some zip ties, which they're going to use to do all this with. And that's what that purple fuse was for. So that's what we're going to do, guys. Fusing up the claws out in the Pyro Bear 420, PB 420, S-Rack, or whatever you want to call it. 12-shot. So hold on a minute and we'll be back and I'll show you how we fuse these up. Alright, here it is, guys. We've got it all fused up. Got those red cans in there. All claws out. This is how we fuse them up. Got this pink cake fuse, or purple I should say. Yeah, it's purple. I think it's 3 something to 6 something seconds per foot. Basically, I'll throw a picture in here, but what we do is we pull it up to the end of the tube, bend it over to the width of the tube, and then cut it. About 1.5 inches of fuse on each one. That way they pretty much sit flush in the tube. Snip your zip ties off. We run some of Dave's super tape over the top. Just 2 strips. Now normally these would be in a W. So you got all that other fuse. You got all that bullshit you got to deal with. This here, you got 1 fuse and 12 shots. And with them out like that, it stabilizes the base. It just seemed like a whole better idea, but the only way I could think of getting the top secure was welding some kind of rings together. So I know it's not wood. Somebody's probably going to put in the comments how you don't put metal on your racks, blah, blah, blah. But you know what, guys? Pyro is all about chance. Life is all about chance. So sometimes you just got to take chances and be careful, right? There's a risk to everything we do. Put some handles on the end. If this thing's going to blow apart, just don't be around it and hope you don't get hit with nothing. It's pretty simple. If it does blow apart, there ain't really a whole lot you can do about it. So that's how we zip tie them. I'll also tell you, don't zip tie these really tight. If you go too tight on them, it'll actually stop the fuse. It'll pinch it off from getting into the core. So just snug. You know, you don't want them super tight. You want them tight enough to where the fuse stays. So we should have a good delay on each one here. That's how you kind of time these out. That's how we do it. You can see the gaps in between here. Zoom in on that. You just want to make sure that your tips of your fuse here are kind of touching your primary, your feeder fuse. You want to pass fire. That's what this is all about. Pass fire. That's what you do with fuse. I have to tuck that one over a little bit there. So we'll put something on the end here to get this going. We'll put some tape over it, light this up, and show you guys what it does. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back. Okay, I'm also going to add quick the bottom of this rack. All the tubes have a screw in them. These are 1.5 inch walnut or maple plugs, whatever Platte River puts in them. So you know you got 1.5 inch plug. We put a 2-inch screw in there. I'm also going to tell you, you don't want to use black oxide drywall screws. You want to use a good construction screw or a deck screw. They're a lot stronger and they're going to bend more than just break. You use them drywall screws, they're just going to break on you. They're not very safe to use really to hold stuff together. So that's it. Deck screws, coated construction screws, whatever you want to use. Alright guys, we'll be back. Alright, here we go. Got the PB420 rack loaded up with some claws out. A little initiator wire going on there. Let's see what this does, guys.
Okay, so here's the rack after everything went off. Everything went off real good. No issues. Detonator went off like it was supposed to. Pretty good show.
Alright, fellers. So right back with round 2. This time we got a little faster fuse on here. This is like a 2 to 3 second yellow quick fuse on there. Got the claws out in there again. So try this one out and see what it does. The other one went a little slower. didn't quite have the effect, and it was very windy. It kind of blew all the shells into each other. So tonight it's a lot calmer, a little better night. This should be a little quicker, throw them up a little faster. So we'll see what this does, and we'll be back.
Alright guys, got round 2 here with fast fuse. Same shells claws out. So
another successful launch. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll have more of this rack going up later. Probably build a few more of these. So thanks for watching. Have a good night.